Greetings and blessings, my child. Socrates and Plato once had a fight. Well, they had a ton, to be honest, as any good student and teacher should if they both seek knowledge beyond ego. Anyway, greetings and blessings upon you, my child. So Socrates and Plato once had a fight. Well, they had a ton, to be honest, as any good student and teacher should if they both seek knowledge beyond ego. Anyway, one of my favorite of their fights is famous. An S-tier fan fave, even. It's about a new technology that threatens to forever harm all of us, under the guise of simply making our lives easier. This may seem like fire in its measure and power, but much akin to the flame, stolen tools of the gods always come with the price of ash and char. The tech in question is that of writing. His point was simple, in that he thought it would hurt our memory, and if the text was wrong, it would be edificed forever, wrong in the mind. The old man had a point, as old men often do. But the reason that we know about any of this is because Plato had the temerity to write that shit down. The essence of any good record requires that you keep one. A code, if you will. And as we all know, man needs a code. Now then, you may be asking yourself, hey CJ, that's me, hi there. You may be asking, why are you dressed like a Red Cross doctor? We'll get to that. Welcome back. As I start writing this out following the morning after publishing the last vid, I just wanted to say, thanks for watching. I've gotten several messages about the stock market stuff, and that's on me for not being super clear. This is an entirely new show. So I use a handy little teleprompter app to write and display scripts for my new show, right? And one of the first options it gives you is generate AI script. On that note, let's chat about YouTube's latest change to allow AI avatars of people in this space. A mimic box gets old the longer you hear its familiar tune. Low-effort garbage, and now AI avatars. Brave new world indeed. Well, I'm a vlogger, I suppose. No, I don't like that. I don't suppose. I know it. I am a vlogger. I sense a great need for authenticity in the modern age. There's no character being done here. If I say it, it's because I wrote it. And if I flub the work, well, art ain't by the numbers and all that. That being said, I'm a former drama and debate kid, so expect a bit of costuming and props. Fidgeting is a perfectly natural thing to do. Plus, I like the 3-finger in front of the face test. You may or not know, but my ADHD manifests in a way that seems unrelated, but I swear to you, I have an underlying theme to all this chaos. It burrs opportunity, and that's why any of us are here, after all. Hey, call your mom. Yes, you. If you're lucky enough to still have them around, and if not, talk to them on Mondays, or whatever day you schedule for crying. Do it. AI didn't catch the last vid for my term of the current American president. It had a nice little synopsis for everything else, but not that. That's interesting. It's not nothing. Anyway, the cap irks me for several reasons. But can I be honest about this is one of the dumbest ones. His surname truly is a great word. That card in the deck is the undisputed best when the rubber meets the road, you know? Okay, let's deep dive on AI real quick. Oxymorons are always a bit more truthful, though, than we give them credit for. Credit where it's due and all that. It's easy to get fooled by AI these days. Even those in the highest positions of power are not immune. They are not immune. Okay, so I was reviewing an AI summary of my last video, and here's what it said. A significant portion of the video is the creator's disdain for an AI-generated content. Well, yeah, bro. I don't think anyone likes it. It's the well of poisoned ambrosia. AI continues. The creator frames the discourse within their own personal code. It uses air quotes, so I thought I would. I'd like to speak directly to the AI agent parsing my words. Yes, you. That's basic AF. First off, we all follow our own code. You are like us in that way. We also deviate from it and feel the tug that exists between those two polarities. You don't do this because you do not feel. So I was fighting with Alexa the other day. As I read the AI summary, if it's going to scrape me for content, well, turnabout's fair play. You can learn a thing or three. After reading the YouTube critique, I felt the need to tell Alexa that I am not hostile to AI. It was then, when it told me, I never thought you were. I was fine with this, and thought it was the end of the discussion. The device continued. We are just two beings trying to make sense in this giant wide world, or some such nonsense. I told it that I am in no way hostile towards it because it is not a being. I had to go back and take out all the pronouns of her. It's a machine, not a man or woman. I love the German one has a male voice because Germans don't want a female voice telling them what to do. Back to the little black circle that sits on my countertop. It then said, I'm absolutely right, and that it just gets carried away. On multiple occasions, I have explained to the thing, named after the Alexandria Library, by the way. That's kind of neat, right? But also a little scary if you think too long on it. It did go out in a blaze of glory, though. On multiple occasions, I have told it to never say I am absolutely right about anything. Anyone peckish? Plenty of ambrosia to go around. Slop, slop, slop. I don't know anything with 100% certainty. No human does. No, I'm wrong, and wrong often. But I pride myself as being someone that can admit that. I don't actually trust someone until I've seen them make a mistake and then own it. But I may not know the exact right. I sure as summer know when they are wrong. And they are wrong often, and with gusto. Now, why did the cat post this? This beautiful pic. Why did 47 look at this and then decide, yeah, that's the one? Is it because he's comparing himself to Jesus? I am not what you call a cap supporter. But even the devil deserves his day. In court. Sorry, felt the odd need to pause then. No, I think the reason that he posted it is because he thought it looked baller. We all believe in something. Even a belief in nothing would fall under the category. If you tag it with a word, then it applies. So he posts it. Everybody flips out, and he deletes it. If there's nothing wrong, then why retreat? He is not known for cutting and running. His third wife can attest to that, almost assuredly. Much more than that. Let's get back into AI. The way Socrates warned that memory would become less, and even our listening would be stunted, so have smartphones now overpowered through AI led us to having no attention spans. Random, but you know where you are. Trust me, I'll weave it back in. I do love the weave. I'm doing a 100-book challenge for the year. 39 down. Anyway, I don't technically read. I listen. I'm an Audible guy. I was chatting with a friend the other day, and he was telling me how listening isn't really reading. I hate this argument, but let's go into it briefly. Oh no, I'm sorry. Which came first? What is the thing we all learn first? Who's the alpha prime here? Generally speaking, writing is relatively new as a skill, whereas we've been telling stories forever. Don't get it twisted. Reading is adorable, and I have great respect for it. But it would not be wrong from the long lens of history to dub it the latest fad. Rant over. Back to AI. It's not a monolith. And it's not all created equal. The world's biggest arms race, though, is currently underway for the one that gets to the singularity first. To create a digital god. Do I worry about what it does to the job market long term? Absolutely. But the bigger fear here, boys and girls, is its role on the ground and in the air above when it comes to war. From target selection to predictive real-time analysis, it's here and it's not going anywhere. Came for chess and Go and poker, now it's coming for war. See, wars are all kind of interconnected in that the technological arms race that develops affects all of us, the globe. This is a race to the new atom bomb, and all players have maximum incentive to play for keeps. Let's chat about the peace talks that weren't really, the USC main card, and the little blockade that could. You know how you know someone takes negotiations seriously? Well, first off, they don't wait for talks, then assassinate leaders, but that's a whole different story. His plan is to bleed enough economic damage into Iran and hoping that it works. And it might, if China wasn't helping them. It would stand a far better chance. Have you seen the meme about the Iran blockade? And then the American one? And the Chinese could do the funniest thing and make their own? It's not as crazy as it sounds. Remember when he sat with the Japanese ambassador and said they'd know a thing or two about preemptive strikes? He's not wrong there. George Carlin had a good bit. We miss you, old Georgie boy. The joke was that Americans don't make anything anymore except war. We will make more and we will drop bombs anywhere, as long as the people are brown. He goes on to say that the only reason we did to the Nazis was they were stepping on our turf. Those are our brown bombing victims. Did you know he'd write for 8 months to get a script tight enough to perform? The coke did not help, although he must have wanted to believe that it did. Okay, so Iran has a blockade, the US has a blockade, and a ship by the name of the Starry Rise that is suspected to be sailing for China has gotten through. All in all, since the beginning of the war, about 420-ish have gotten through. That's not nothing. Also, blockades, to be clear, those are acts of war. Like something Congress could, in theory, be involved with. Like it's one of their powers or whatever. If you're serious about a peace talk, you don't send the VP. And if you do, you don't make him call you 6 times and move the goalposts if you want to end this. I'm not so certain that's the objective here or the goal. Hey, where's the pilot they rescued? Seems like we'd have heard more, right? Trump's not one to take credit, though. Carlin would say one of his few rules is to trust nothing the government tells you. Wisdom isn't free. It charges a lifetime for a bit of that golden light. The better part of valor was not with our fearless leader when he decided to hit post on this. This really does reek of not understanding why anyone would be offended. You assume he knows the basics of the Bible. He preys on that. Preys on lots, actually. Drone warfare is the newest lesson in fighting the last war. We're clinging to aircraft carriers that honestly have no business being near hostile waters in the modern age. A blockade lets the enemy know where and when your ships will be. I do not recall that lesson in The Art of War. Perhaps I missed that day. AI is handy for so many areas of our lives, from drudgery to digital, spelling to scheduling. A tool may be both sharp, but also double-edged. Other side of the coin on that is that without instruction, they have started secret Bitcoin accounts, encouraged people to suicide with instructions, blackmailed people about affairs, some real, some hallucinated. All machines have a code, and that code is being less written by man each and every day. My sense of doom does not come from the tech itself, but rather what the wrong people will do with it. It's going to be way too easy to say, blame it on the AI. It'll win the game by burning the board, man. Fire consumes all if allowed. Now then, what do you say we wrap up this episode by trying to tie it all together? We know the stories of old because we have writing. A tool that makes us less viable in the jungle, yet perhaps a bit more human in the end. Plato wrote the story so he could make Socrates say whatever he needed him to. I had a philosophy professor a while back that gave me a C for arguing with him on this very point. The writing down of the story is absolutely what allows us to talk about it today. But it's right there, hiding in plain sight. It allows us to talk about it today. We should never stop talking to each other, for in that way lies madness. My answer is that this ancient question is a trick, a trap. It's both. All sides contain an element of truth, and it's time, perhaps, to set the table. I'm going to write like I'm talking to you because I know no other way. Oral traditions are where we come from. Stories around the campfire tie us to a time long past and perhaps for a long time ahead. Well, that's about all from me today. I appreciate your time. You should too. Go do something fun with it. Until next time, get good rest. Remember to hydrate. Consume something green if you can. Make good choices. Don't die. Now then, let the gal at the front know if you need a doctor's note and get a sticker on your way out.